Good day everyone, my name is Anna. In this channel, I share with you my passion for growing cactus and other desert plants over a cup of coffee. And before I proceed with the video for today, I just would like to show you this coffee that I am drinking for today. It's a limited edition by McCafe. It's a cinnamon streusel coffee cake. It's good. It's not as strong as I want my coffee to be, so I just put less sugar when I do my coffee, but it is delicious, especially for these holidays. The taste reminds me of Christmas holidays. So for today, I am going to be repotting this aloe. I actually have a lot of repotting to do. I separated maybe 15 pots, but I will not be doing all that in this video. I will save the rest for another video. I hope to be able to do this and maybe another one after this aloe. So this aloe is something that I grew from seeds. So I grew these in 2020, I think. Yes, I grew this in 2020. This is a cross between an aloe lizard lips and aloe oik. So the seeds were harvested from the aloe lizard lips, at least for those in this pot. And then the seeds that were harvested from the aloe oik, I have it in another pot. So I did the crossing of the flowers. So this is my hybrid. So 2020, it's been 3 years. So this is how it looks like. The aloe lizard lips is aloe with long slender leaves that stays green all year round. So I tried stressing that. It just turned a little bit brown, but it's mostly green, so it's prettier green. It has a long slender leaves. The aloe oik, however, has a wider leaves, which is green during summer or during hotter months, but during winter, when it turns cooler, the leaves turn into a beautiful shade of like bluish green, and the teeth are pink. So very beautiful, the aloe oik. So they are two very different looking aloes that I crossed, and this is what the offsprings look like. So when you grow something from seed, whether it be an aloe or for cactus, especially when they are hybrids, when they germinate, not all the plants will look the same, as you can see in this pot. So what I am going to do is I'll be separating this, picking out the ones that I really like, and I'll put it in a separate pot. For instance, take a look at this. This is my favorite. This one is my favorite. So see how the teeth are so pink, and the leaves in the middle, you can actually feel the bumps. Okay, so this one, I like this one. However, this one, as you can see, is different. This has longer slender leaves, much like the aloe lizard lips, but it's the center is smooth, so it doesn't have the bumps like this one. This one has a smooth center. So as you can see, not all of them look the same. The others are like this one. Oh, although this one is a little bit shriveled, but I could see that the teeth markings are very prominent on this seedling as opposed to this one. So not all of them are the same. So what I'm going to do is I'll pick out the ones that I really like, put them in a separate pot so I can have more of them, and then those that kind of look the same, I will put them all in another pot. Okay, so let's get started with this. So I'm going to be removing them in this container. When I first sowed the seeds, I planted them in a small, like 2-inch pot, and then when the seedlings grew, I moved them to this container, and then since then, this is their next repotting. The soil is wet because I still water my aloes despite it being winter time. Winter is actually a growing season for my aloes. They are dormant during our summer here because our summer is very hot, but during winter they grow. That's why I usually repot my aloes winter time or early spring, but I try not to do it during summer because that's when they are dormant. Alright, so this is the one that I really like. I am going to pull this one out. Okay. And then this little one as well. Oh, actually I see another nice one in the middle. Okay, the leaves of these are mostly curled as of now because they went, as I said, they went dormant during summer. And when they're dormant, usually that's what they do. They close their leaves to prevent water loss because it was so hot. But then come fall and now winter time, they're starting to unfurl, or they're starting to open up once again. And some are really tiny. The ones that got squished in the middle, or maybe these are offsprings already. Could be. Alright, so I already separated them, grouped them according to which ones I want together, and then I will pot them up in this terracotta pots. So I think I will reuse some of the soil where it came from. It is good soil since I made that soil, and then I'm just gonna mix it with fresh soil. Okay, so this, I'll start off with these two ones. These are the two ones that I like. So aloes have very long roots, as you can see. So you will need a rather deep pot, not too big, but a big enough pot to accommodate those long roots. I'm just gonna give this a little tap and push it down a little. Okay, make sure the aloe is snug in there. It's not gonna go anywhere. And then I'll add more soil to this one. I don't put top dressings anymore on my aloes because eventually the rosettes will cover the soil. So I don't see any need really for a top dressing, although you can. Sometimes I do for aesthetic purpose, but I don't find it necessary. Okay, so this is pot number 1. Okay, and then the next one, by the way, I have screen inside the pots because this has a large drainage hole. So just that screen just keeps the soil from going out through the pot, underneath the pot. Okay, so that's the new soil. This is the old soil. I'll just mix them up. Alright, there you go. See the roots? That shows this is actively growing. I see new roots coming out. So that just goes to show that this aloe is actively growing right now. Okay, and if I see some dead roots, I can like remove them, but all these are like healthy growing roots. So I'll just leave it like that. Okay, this is pot number 2. Off to the next pot. By the way, sometimes I use fabric dryer sheets, the used ones that I washed thoroughly, instead of a screen. So when I run out of screen, I also use dryer sheets. It serves the purpose as well. Okay, again, I'm just combining the old and new soil, fresh new soil. Here's a nice big one, but as you can see, the teeth on the edges of this are not as big, unlike this one. Okay, see the teeth on this one, on the edges, they're much bigger than this one. So I prefer the look of this, but we'll let this grow and see how it looks. Okay, and then right now it is almost winter time, so the stress colors of these would come out more prominent this winter time. So let's see how these guys will look this winter time. I actually prefer aloes when they have their stressed colors. So you can bring out the nice stress colors on aloes during winter time or when the weather is cool. So as long as you expose them to a cool temperature with enough sunlight, that will bring out their beautiful stress colors. Although don't get me wrong, there are some aloes that do not look good when they're stressed. And on top of my head, I can tell you, like the aloe snowstorm, that one I prefer it in its original green color, because when it gets stressed it turns into brown. Same thing as the aloe vera. The aloe vera is nicer if it's green, because if you expose it to too much sun it turns brownish purple. For me, I don't like it. Some people maybe like that look on it, but for me, I don't. But there are some aloes that when you stress them, they are even more beautiful, such as the mother plant of this, the aloe oik. That is beautiful. The a lot of the hybrids, especially the hybrid aloes, I think they specialized on the colors. The hybridizer are bringing out the colors on a lot of the small hybrid aloes. So I'm hoping that this hybrid that I make, I can also create one that has a really nice look to it. So I'm aiming for compactness and colors in my aloes, as well as texture. So I like those with a really prominent markings or teeth on the edges. Oh, I already made 4 pots so far, and I'm on to my last pot number 5. Okay, and then in this last pot I have 3. I actually realized that aloes grow better if they're a little bit root bound. So I try to put like a lot in one pot if I can. So they like company. When you grow aloes, they like company. But if you only have one, try not to put it in a too big of a pot. For me, it grows better when it's a little root bound. Plus, it doesn't grow as fast, so it remains compact longer if you put it in a small pot rather than putting it in a big pot. By the way, if you guys want to see my complete aloe collection, I will link the video here. Check below the description of this video or on top of your screen. I will link that video when I did a complete tour of my aloe collection. The next one that I will repot is this Euphorbia seedling. So this is another hybrid that I made. This is a cross between the Euphorbia obesa and the Euphorbia enopla. So the Euphorbia obesa grows more like a ball, like a baseball. So it's round, while the Euphorbia enopla, as it grows or as it matures, it grows more elongated. So this is the cross between the two. So far, it looks like a fat enopla to me, but we're going to see how it looks as they grow. So this is 2 years old, I believe. Yeah, so these seedlings are 2 years old now, and they're growing too big for the pot. So I'm going to move them to a bigger pot, this terracotta pot. Okay, should I separate them or keep them as a clump? I think I'll separate them because I know they will grow fatter later on. At least that would give them room to grow bigger, just in case they grow like an obesa with more plump body. Let's see. Yep, I should separate these because the roots are getting so entangled. It will be harder to separate them later on when they're bigger. Ooh, wow. See those white sap already coming off? That's because the euphorbias are rubbing against each other. The euphorbia sap, they're toxic. They can irritate your skin, although fingers crossed, I haven't had that reaction yet. So hopefully I don't with this one because I just took my gloves off. Alright, so let's separate them first. But if you have that on your hands, make sure you wash your hands right after you handle a euphorbia. Do not rub your eyes with that white sap on your hand because I've heard stories, horror stories of when that sap gets onto the eyes. It can irritate your eyes, and some say it like cause temporary blindness to some. So depending on the euphorbia, so just be cautious when you're handling euphorbia. What you can do is you can also like get water and just squeeze water on them to clean them out. Okay, so that will stop the bleeding, quote-unquote bleeding of the sap on the euphorbia. All right, so I have 6 in here. I think they will all fit in this one terracotta pot for now. And then I will just be repotting them later on. Hopefully it'll give me maybe 2 more years before I would have to separate them. But right now, space is limited in my backyard. As much as possible, I want my plants in less number of pots as possible. This soil mixture that I am using, by the way, is a combination of commercially available cactus mixture to which I added more pumice and sand to it to make it faster draining. But then my goal is to have a 70-30 ratio, that is 70% organic and 30% inorganic. This is richer than what I use for cactus because I find that aloes and euphorbias like to drink more water than the cacti. For cactus, I usually do like 50-50 ratio or 60-40. So 40% inorganic for cactus or 50% inorganic. But for aloes, Haworthia, Euphorbia, Gasteria, I use a richer mixture. And also you have to take into consideration that I live in a desert where it's usually very hot and dry all year round. And I also use mostly terracotta pots on my plants, so my soil dries very fast. I'm going to add a top dressing on this one because the euphorbias are actually very wobbly, so this will keep them stable and upright until they grow much bigger and their roots develop more in the soil. Okay, plus it also looks nicer, more finished this way. And also when I water, it prevents the soil from spilling over my pot, so it keeps the soil down or in place. Here are all my hybrids all potted up, so I was able to do 5 pots of the aloes, and then here is my cute little euphorbia. So I will not be watering these yet. I would probably give it 3 to 5 days before I introduce water to the soil, just to give the roots time to heal. Also, I will be moving this in my garage since it is almost winter time now. So they will stay there in my garage until springtime, when the temperature is warmer for these guys to come outside again. So in my garage, the temperature stays about 10 degrees warmer than it is outside. And also I have grow lights for these guys to continue to grow there inside my garage. Alright, so if you like this video, guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Follow me in Facebook and in Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And until next time, happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everyone. Cheers!